Hey everybody, Pancho here. Welcome to the very first episode of The Pancho Show. I'm super excited to be able to do this. I'll share with you some reasoning behind it later on in a few other episodes. But at the end of the day, it's something really, really cool that I've been wanting to do for a long, long time. And I'm very grateful for you guys to be watching and take the time out of your day to watch it, hopefully. And I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of value out of this. It's good stuff. For my very first guest for this, I decided to go with Alfonso Delgadillo. He's not only a good business partner of mine, but he's also a great friend. We've developed a real good relationship in the past few years since we've been working together, and he's proven to be one of the coolest people I know. And it was a little bit difficult at first because I was like, man, he's got such a cool story, and he's up there when it comes to motivation and inspiration and everything, that maybe I'm like going too far in on the first one, right? But the reality of it is that we're going to have him again later on when we have more people viewing us and everything, and he can share the story again or maybe add on to it, because we probably don't have enough time today to go over everything that I'd love to go over, right? So anyways, without further ado, this is Alfonso. All right,
Thank you.
Alfonso Delgadillo of the Alfonso Delgadillo lending team over at Point Mortgage. We've been working together in the real estate industry.
Now.
Yeah, a few years. I think we met in 2014, right at the beginning, 2014 or so. So about 3 years. And I want to share with you, if it's okay with you, how we met.
Yes.
So, you know, when you go into the real estate business as a new agent, you start becoming friends on social media with everybody. Just adding everybody and trying to get to know everybody in the industry so that you can build those relationships and stuff like that. And I was looking for a good lender. I had already been doing business with Point Mortgage, and Scott Asaro was actually my lender before he was the general manager, which is really cool. And but I couldn't really dial in somebody that had the work ethic that I was looking for. And anyways, long story short, one day we were at an event, at a coaching seminar over in Las Vegas. And of course, you're in Vegas. After the coaching seminar, everybody goes out to party, and we were at a club. I don't remember which. Omnia, I think. Yeah, it was Omnia. We were at Omnia, and we were hanging out. It was like midnight, and right around midnight, he showed up. Like, he barely got there. And I was like, man, that's a little late to show up, right? And I met him, but I had already seen something that had caught my attention earlier that day, which was he checked in to the office to work on Facebook at 6 a.m. And it was pretty impressive to me that you had been able to check in at 6 a.m., go through your workday, and catch up to us. Yes. So that was pretty impressive. So he started asking me, of course, and we started talking about business and whatever. He's like, hey, you know what? I'd love to work with you. And I said, you remember what I said?
Yes.
What did I say?
You got me checking in at 6 a.m. already.
I said, you had me at checking in at 6 a.m., brother. I was sold. And that's not even the craziest thing. We left the club like at 3 in the morning, 4 maybe.
4 o'clock?
Yeah,
yep.
Something like that. We actually went to go get something to eat. And then everybody went to the rooms to rest. But he went to the airport because he had an appointment to be back here at 12. Exactly. Or something like that. I was like, holy crap. So anyways, your work ethic, unparalleled. Really proud to be a business partner of yours.
Likewise.
And anyways, that's kind of like the quick intro of my buddy Alfonso. You have all these awards.
Yes.
You've done pretty good for yourself.
I think I have, you know. Thank you, first of all, for allowing me to be in the first episode of the Pancho Show.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can't believe that you picked me in a way. I'm very honored to do that.
For sure, man.
You know, I really wish you the best of success with this show. I know where you're going with it, and I will bless it, and hopefully that this interview today puts you off to many more, and you have a huge crowd of followers. So first of all, thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm extremely nervous. I don't know why. I love talking in front of people, but today I'm nervous. But
we got a few cameras going, so maybe that's why.
Exactly. So all these awards, you're right. I mean, it all comes with dedication and having a clear understanding of what you're doing and what the reason that you're doing it for, and having your why. So as long as people have their why very, very, very clear, I think anybody can achieve anything in life, period. Not just business, but in anything that people want to do, you can achieve it as long as you have a clear why and a clear path and understanding of where you're going and why you're doing it for.
Correct.
Right?
So I think you would agree with me. Having a clear mindset, a positive mindset primarily is pretty important to you, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think your signs appear on the walls and everything all over the place. I mean, literally you have something positive to say on every wall in your building.
Yes.
Why is that important?
You know, it's very important to me who I surround myself with, you know, what I surround myself with. And I always try to put things up on these walls, like you said, to kind of remind me of my why and why I'm doing it and where I start from, right? It's just like, in order to know where you're going, never forget where you came from, right?
Absolutely.
So that to me is very important. But, you know, just like all these quotes on my walls, you know, like, if the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal.
Absolutely.
Once again, understand where you're going and why you're doing it. You might fail, which I failed many, 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 many times in life and in business, but I've learned to get up and continue pushing.
Yeah, you have that sign over there from...
One of my favorite coaches, Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? He's been held, you know, he's shot over 9,000 shots. He's been held to shoot the winning game many, many, many times. And he's missed it, and he's failed over and over and over. And it's powerful what he says, and that's the reason why I've succeeded.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I have it up there because it's one of my favorite quotes in life, period. And just reminds me, like, dude.
Because we all crash, man.
We're all going to crash.
Yeah.
We're all going to crash.
All the time.
We're all going to make big mistakes, small mistakes, but we all learn from the bigger ones. Yep. So as long as, it's not important to be how you fall, it's important how you rebound and you get back up from that.
Absolutely.
And I tell my team, and I tell my people, my life, my wife, my kids, everybody I'm around, dude, turn it to, if you really give them the mindset, Pancho, of like turning everything negative into a positive, everything will change for you.
I couldn't agree more, man.
You know,
I mean,
there's a lesson to be learned from every failure.
Absolutely.
From, you know, just period. That's what I do.
You know, they say that it's the interpretation of everything that we do that's going to really, really determine what we focus on. Therefore, what our mindset towards it is. And if we see it as something negative, it's just going to block us.
Absolutely.
Right? But if it's something positive, you can turn, believe me, people, you can turn any situation into something that can become very empowering. It's incredible if you just adjust your point of view to it, right?
It's all the mindset. It's all in the mindset. You know, I'll share real quick, and I know we got to cover a lot of things in this episode, but, you know, about 6 or 8 months ago, one of my coaches and mentors said, hey, I kind of challenge you to do an exercise. You know, ask your team these 3 questions, right? So I did, and one of those questions is, what can Alfonso do to be a better leader?
Cool.
Right? What can Alfonso do to make this a better working environment?
Put you on the spot.
Put me in the spot. Like, you're calling yourself out. So I gave it to my team. They all, you know, wrote the responses, and it was pretty eye-opening that more than 4 of them had to say the same thing.
Interesting.
Check your ego at the door.
Whoa, nice.
Check your attitude at the door. I'm like, what are they talking about, right? So I think I'm a pretty good guy. I'm cool to work with. I'm always driven, very pumped up. I'm trying to motivate people. What are they really talking about, right? So I really like I say, I really start peeling the skin of the onion, right? Because that's when it really hurts. When you're really trying to dig in there. And I came to realize that they were right, you know? Sometimes I will let my personal things go on, like that were going on sideways maybe. Not that there always are, but just I was bringing to my work environment negative energy. I was letting my problems take over me, whether they were probably even work related, right? But I was coming in the door demanding things more than trying to come in the door with like a mindset of like, it's a good day, right? I'm living the dream. So after having a conversation with the team and checking in with them the next week on our team meeting, I said, you know what? I appreciate you guys all doing this homework, but I really need to understand what you guys mean by that so I can improve on it. So I took all of them in the office one
by one or as a group?
One by one, and they all said the same thing. Like, hey, we love working with you. We love working here, but there's days where you set the mood for the office. And when you walk through the door with a big old frown on your face, or we know you had a bad night or a bad day, and it just kind of sets the stage. So I kind of check myself every single day now when I walk in my door. I'm doing my affirmations.
Absolutely.
You know, I am doing my prayer in my brain, my head, you know, just being grateful for what I have. So when I walk into the door, it's a different mindset now.
Yeah.
So
well, let's go back to your why. We talked about it a little while ago, how important, when you crash and you go down, would you be able to get up and keep fighting if you didn't have a strong enough why?
Yeah.
You think you would be able to
No, you're wrong. I mean, no, I'm sorry. So, yes, you wouldn't be able to get up. I mean, if you don't have a clear understanding of why you're doing things, why would you get up?
Why, right?
Sometimes it's like, oh, well, we're rain is the poorest. I don't believe on that no more.
Okay.
No, because you make it whatever you want it to make. So if you have a strong why and a clear understanding of that why, I think anybody in life will be able to get out from anything that happens to them in personal life and business.
Would you mind me asking, what is your why?
No, not at all. I mean, I have a big one. I mean, you know, I could talk on it for hours, but you know,
I think we all can talk about our whys for a long time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, my family,
Absolutely.
my wife and kids, you know,
Cool.
I want to be able to provide to them opportunities that I didn't have as I was growing up.
Okay.
So my why is my kids, and honestly just the fear of losing it and not being able to achieve their goals and dreams, right? So my family, pretty cool thing that I do with them is every single year we sit down right before the year ends and we start doing our dream board. I started doing a dream board many years ago, and I have some cool stories
Dream
about
boards are
that.
powerful stuff.
So dream board, essentially what we do is we sit down and we start cutting and pasting from magazines what we want for the following year, right? So we've been doing it for a lot of years. So that helps me understand my why more so every year. So when I hear my little ones, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and 9-year-old, well now they're 9 and 10, but since they were like 5 years old, they were telling me what they wanted.
Yeah.
It was just the fear of not being able to provide to them.
Absolutely. Talk about strong accountability. A lot of times we struggle with getting what we want and everything and achieving our goals, or keep fighting day to day because sometimes we don't have the accountability.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us are self-employed or in situations that, you know what, maybe we have some money saved up and you can go maybe a month and say, you know what, won't go to work today, or I won't do this or whatever.
Right.
But here's the thing. You said a very important thing. You're fearful.
Yeah.
And fear sometimes, if you turn it into something that can drive you, is a very powerful thing.
It's a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if...
that fear of failing your children
yeah.
is brutal.
That's
right?
brutal. I mean,
Yeah.
fear is not good.
Yeah.
But like I said, turn everything negative into a positive.
Yep.
So fear can be a good thing for a lot of us. You know, in an industry where we're sales driven, where it's all commission based, right? If you don't sell or if you don't do a mortgage, you're not going to be able to bring a check to home, right?
Yeah.
So one, you know, it's the family. That's my why with my family, my kids, is being able to provide for them and help them get to where they want to be and be able to take those trips that they want to do. Or simple thing is like, Daddy, I want to play soccer in a soccer club, and I'll be able to pay that check every single month so my
Yeah.
son plays the soccer, or my daughter take those ice skating competitions, not having the ability to write that check every year for private classes for her
For
ice
training.
skating
Yeah.
training.
Yep.
You know, those are the foundation of my why. The other one, big part of it, Pancho, is I heard it from Jim Rome many years ago. Was
Awesome guy, Jim Rohn.
awesome guy.
Yep.
Was like, you know, what does it take to be a millionaire? I heard the city over and over for many years, till one day I was driving to work and I heard the same CD and it just dawned on me, right? He said, the first thing in order to be a millionaire, you first have to make $1 million.
It's pretty simple, right?
I'm like, duh. But then he said something very powerful. He says, it's not about the $1 million, because when you have whenever you become a millionaire and you have $1 million, you can literally give it all away.
Yep.
And I'm like, who would do that? Why would you give it all away? That's crazy. You work your butt off for it, right? He said, because it's not about the $1 million. It's about the person you became in the path to become a millionaire.
Absolutely.
So, you know, once again, like the Michael Jordan, he failed over and over again. That's why he succeeded. Jim Rohn, this is, you know, he's telling us, because the person that you will become in that path to becoming a millionaire, that's why you can give it all away. So
You have to grow.
you have to grow, right? So I want to be one day say, hey, thank you, Jim Rome. Write about, you know, just post something about that, because he motivated me that day was to become that person.
Yep.
Right? Why? I want to be able to pay it forward.
Yep.
So that's the second biggest reason of my why.
Absolutely.
I want to be able to pay it forward. I want to share my story. That's why I'm so blessed that and honored that you even thought about me to share this with your people on the Pancho Show, because I really want to inspire people and tell them that anything and everything is possible in life.
And it really is.
You know my story,
Yeah.
and I'll share a little more right now in this episode. But I'm a firm believer that if you turn everything negative into a positive, and you have a clear mindset of your goals and dreams, anything anything.
The
is
work
possible.
ethic comes, right?
The work ethic comes.
Yeah, the work ethic comes.
Yep.
So you brought up two real cool points. Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs, and I'm not going to dive into it because it's very extensive, but 2 of those 6, they call them the spiritual needs.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is growth,
Yep.
and the other one is contribution.
Mm-hmm.
So what you were talking about, Jim Rohn, was actually right on the spot, because those are the 2 spiritual needs that you're satisfying by growing to become that person.
Yep.
And then to be able to give back so much gives you that feel of fulfillment.
Absolutely.
You can have all the money in the world, you can win the lottery,
Yeah.
and have $100 million bucks.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, if you didn't do anything to get there,
Right.
and you want to keep it all to yourself, and you're not going to feel good about yourself. It's
Right.
it's just human nature,
Exactly.
right? So, anyways, yeah, you also touched on the subject of your story, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to bring you on board, because you've shared this with me before, and I was like, it's like super inspiring.
Right.
Back in 2007, 2008, you were already in the lending business. You started in lending.
In 2004.
You were how old?
The middle, I was 21 years old.
Yep.
Started
Super young.
Super young.
Yeah.
Super young.
Kid.
So yeah. So I'll jump into it, right?
Yeah,
right?
go for it.
Okay, so I always knew from when I was a kid that I wanted to do 2 things in life. Okay, one, actually 3 major ones. So I wanted to be a professional soccer player or a singer. So that kind of goes together. I want to be a star.
Oh, by the way, he can sing.
Okay.
There's no joke.
So,
he can sing.
I want to be a singer, and I often told my wife, if somebody would just like offer me like a record label, listen, you wouldn't be the richest man in the world ever, but you would just have enough to provide your family. But all we want you to sing, I would sign into that line. I love to sing.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things, but in the real world, right? Like I say, stop dreaming. What do I want to do? Was I wanted to be an architect.
Okay.
Or I knew I wanted to work with numbers. I wanted to work in a finance institution. Since I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Really?
I'll tell you.
Wow, that's
3rd
cool.
grade. I already knew that. It's crazy. So
You like math.
I love math, and so my mom's ex-husband was in the construction business. He was a carpenter. So every single summer, he would take me and say, "Hey, you want new clothes for school? You want new shoes? You want to hang out with your buddies and have like new clothes, and you want to have lunch money every single day when you go to school?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "Okay, well, you got to go to work for me every single summer."
Absolutely.
I said, "Okay,
You gotta earn
what
it.
is that? You got to earn it, right?" So he taught me a better lesson right there.
Yeah.
You have to earn it. So he was already teaching me a lesson in life. So
A valuable lesson. But
valuable lesson in life, and for that I'm ever grateful for that guy.
Yeah.
I love him to death. So he taught me how to be a carpenter. So because I wanted to be an architect, the first time he brought me to the job site and I saw bunches just sticks standing up in houses, I was like, oh my God, this is my dream. I want to be an architect. And what better for me to learn it from the ground up?
Yep.
How the slabs get poured, how to carry 2x4s on my shoulder, how to put that fascia on, how to put the trusses, put the plywood on the roof. I said, this is home. So I used to work for him every single summer hanging board, and I was to climb up 5 different stories and put in fascia, and I was hanging, and his friends would be like, hey, you're crazy, man. He's a kid. He's like 10 years old, and you put him on 4 stories hanging board with you, 2x12s. He's like, no, he's learning how to be a carpenter. Yeah. And, I knew I wanted to do that. So where I'm going with this is, I always
some people will call it child labor, child abuse, or whatever,
abuse.
right? But the reality of it, man,
teaching me a life lesson.
Yeah.
Teaching me how to be a man.
Yeah.
Teaching me how to earn my money.
My dad had me carrying huge big boxes of hardware supply and tools and stuff like that for his business. He's like, you got to earn it.
You got to earn it.
You got to earn it, and it's a valuable lesson.
It's a very valuable lesson that I'm blessed to have had him in my life. So. Then I graduated high school. His friend offers her his job, says, hey, why don't you bring your son, Alfonso? I'll let you guys run our own crew, and I'll give you guys the plans, and you guys will build this property. I will never forget, it was tract homes.
Yep.
My model was 1470. So that was the square footage. I used to pretty much frame a whole 1470
square feet house.
I used to frame it in 9 days. It was me, my stepdad, and our cousin.
It's not bad.
So he used to pay me at the end of the day, in 10 days, we were making like $6,000. So we paid my cousin like $1,500. At 18 years old, I was already making $5,000 a house, was 50-50, and he was split it with me because he's like, you earned it.
Yeah.
This is your money. So I was still let him keep the majority of the money and just give me as I needed money, right? So fast forward, I get hurt in 2008. 2001, I believe, 2002, I get hurt in the construction site. So I go through the workers' comp, I go through the major depression, and I gain about 30, 40, 50 pounds, right? I was pretty lean at that time, but I gained a lot of weight because I was depressed. I couldn't work, I couldn't play soccer anymore, and I just felt like my dreams got crushed. I wasn't be able to become the contractor or the architect. I couldn't do no hard work. The doctor from workers' comp, I remember he pulled me in the room and said, dude, you're 20 years old. What are you doing with your life? You're putting so much pressure in your body that when you're 30, 40, 50, you're going to feel it. You got to get out of this industry. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I'm going to put on the letter of recommendation that you can no longer ever go back to construction. And if you do so, it's on you. I'm like, oh my God. So I go through a major depression, get 2 knee surgeries, blew my back. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? So they put me through a counselor through the workers' comp to go back to school. And so I fill out this application, go to the counselor, and they make this they make me take this test. And in the assessment, my math came super, super high, right? So I was
you like to do something, we were natural at.
So he's like, hey, listen, have you ever thought of getting into real estate? I'm like, huh? What is that? How did you get that? What is that? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's not actually real estate. It's more of like a mortgage loan officer school. I'm like, okay. I was like, what do you say? Because your math, you're really good at it, man. I mean, you would do really good in lending. I'm like, tell me more about it. He's like, well, there's a school named whatever, Data Tech at the time in Mission Valley that if you go there, they'll teach you how to underwrite, how to process, and how to originate loans. And you can actually make good money. I says, okay, I've always liked math. Why not? Let's go.
Yeah.
So he sends me to the school, schedule the appointment. I take a tour that day, and very, very blessed that from that minute forward, I mean, the workers' comp actually paid $30-something thousand for me to go to school for 8 months, and then 3 months of an internship.
That's pretty
right?
cool.
So that was in 2002. So mid 2002. So I actually get in the mortgage business mid 2003.
Okay.
By accident of getting hurt
Yeah.
in what I wanted to do, which was become an architect, learning construction.
And very important.
Yeah.
You kept an open mind.
I kept an open mind.
You, even though you were going through this depression and you felt like everything was over, you still kept a little bit of an open mind. You said, you know what? Screw this. I got to try something else.
Yeah.
And somebody gave you an idea that you had no clue, but you went for it.
But I went for it.
Try it out.
I mean, somebody else had to tell me, hey, you're really good in math, and why don't you try this out? I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Here I am. I get in the mortgage business. That's when the boom is coming. But nobody could trust a 21-year-old with the biggest purchase of their life, right? So it's very hard for me to get business because they're like, dude, you're a kid.
Plus, I've seen pictures of you, and you look even younger than what you
I
actually
looked
were.
younger, and I was like, oh my God, I had a baby's face. I was like, is this horrible? But at that time, it was so much easier for people to qualify. It was all stated income, stuff like that. So I did pretty well. Then the mortgage crash comes, right? I get married in 2006, 2007. Comes 2008 comes by, and then boom, the mortgage meltdown, right? So I have a baby that is literally 8 months old. My wife is pregnant with her second child, and it's like Mayday, right? Nobody can qualify for a mortgage. So here I am trying to scramble and figure out how I'm gonna make ends meet at home. So one day, and I'm going really fast, so I know we got limited time. One day, my mother-in-law comes and says, hey, I met this guy and they're looking for some workers. I'm like, who did you meet? Well, I ordered DirecTV. She's like, and I know you're struggling right now. Nobody's really qualifying for loans. And he told me if you call this number and you give his name and you ask for this person, they'll actually interview you. I'm like, okay, but I do mortgages and this is my passion. Like, this is what I love to do. And she's like, yeah, but
you need to make money.
You need to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess you're right. You're right. So
this was your mother-in-law, right?
This is my mother-in-law.
Yeah. So she's thinking, you got to feed my daughter and my grandkids, dude.
Right. So, you know, we're going through a short sale in our condo in La Jolla and all that stuff. And I said, okay, let's call him. So I did call the guy, and I'm like, hey, listen, I was referred to you by so and so. I was like, okay, why don't you come tomorrow? So I went there. I took the test. They hired me on the spot. They're like, okay, you start tomorrow. I'm like, whoa. I'm like looking for a part-time job here. He's like, well, we don't do part-time.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I do mortgages for a living, and I don't want to do this. Like, well, if you were doing so good at mortgages,
why are you here?
Why are you here? Boop. Second reality check, right?
Yeah.
First was my mother-in-law saying, hey, you do mortgages, but you ain't providing.
Yeah.
Or you're having struggles. And then this guy said, If you're so good at what you do, why are you here?
Yeah.
Second reality check. So I said, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
So give it a shot. And I said, listen, I really need you to work with me, okay? I could either do 3 or 4 days a week, depending how much you need me, but can you like do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Because I really don't want nobody to know that I do this. He's like, what do you mean? Well, you know, this business, you know, I'm scared of losing credibility. And if my realtor partners know that I'm not.
Yeah, you're installing
Right.
dishes instead of being
my
100%
credibility
of it, yeah.
will go down because they're gonna be like, okay, well, if you're so good as a loan officer, why you have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Type of deal. So I'm like, but I need this job to be able to feed my wife and kids. He's like, I'll work with you. Show me what you got. So for 2 weeks I worked with him, and then I went through the whole training program. And he says, you know what, you're gonna come into the office. I went into the office, like, listen, man, I've heard nothing but great things from you. You get really good reviews of your installations. I got really good reviews from the guy that was training you. I'll work with you. Give me 3 days a week. Sometimes maybe 4. You tell me if you want that 4th. But how about if we do Friday, Saturday, Sunday? And then whenever you can or you want, we'll do Mondays. I'm like, seriously, Frank? He's like, yes. I was like, awesome.
Frank?
His name was Frank. I said, thank you so much, man. That means a lot to me. So that's what the journey, and that's what my crazy story starts with. I've shared with you guys, with a lot of people. So I started planning satellite dishes, right? But I didn't want my business partners, my realtors, or the clients to know I was doing that. So only one good friend of mine really knew about it, which, you know, he kept it a secret for me for a long time, which I'm thankful for that. And I had to pick up the boxes. The warehouse opened at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 actually, I'm sorry. So you can go and get your boxes and get your route, right? To where you're gonna go for the day and plan your satellites. So what I did is, by the way, that time my wife had also started a job at Scripps in La Jolla. She was honestly housekeeping.
Yeah.
Right?
How'd that make you feel?
Bad.
Yeah.
Good in a way, like she understood me. She was not gonna let me go down in flames on myself.
Yeah.
She was there as a trooper to support me and support the family. That made me feel really good, but it made me feel really, really bad that she was.
Yeah, I got a sense of pride that you're loved and helped, and you have somebody behind your back, but at the same time, you feel like, dude, I'm letting them down.
I'm letting my family down.
Yeah.
I'm letting my wife down. I'm sure she did not sign up for this.
Yeah.
Right? We're better. Like I want something better for them.
Yeah.
So that really like kept me going too. So she was working like late shift. So she would go in at 5 to midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Right?
Shout out to Krisha. She's awesome.
So shout out to my wife. Love her to
Yeah.
death. So yes. And then, so she would leave the kids with my mother-in-law to take care of them, and then I would pick them up and bring them to home, shower, bathe them, feed them, put them to bed, and then I would go to bed and get up. So in order for me to make all this happen, Pancho, this is where the fun part starts, and you know it's a pretty cool story. You know, it kind of brings tears to my eyes just to remember about it, but I think that's what actually defined who I am today, and you know why I'm here. So I used to get up at 4 in the morning every single day. And mind you, I was going to bed by midnight, putting the kids to bed, feeding 2 babies, diapers, and all that stuff. So I was sleeping 3 hours a day. Get up at 4 in the morning to drive all the way up to Miramar, right? To be the first one in line to pick up the boxes. Then I became friends with the warehouse guys. I said, dude, can you open up like 30 minutes before? Because I really need to get my boxes to plan them. So he would open up at 6 in the morning. Actually, they'll give me my boxes. I would drive down to Chula Vista again, to Bonita. We were renting an apartment on Bonita Road. And I would shower. I would put on my suit, my tie, and I would go to the office. I was in the office from 8 in the morning to about 8:35 because the first job needed to be recorded. I was knocking their door by 9 o'clock. So I just wanted the receptionist to know that Alfonso was in the office, and maybe a couple of realtors that I was trying to get their business from to see me in the office bright and early. It's like that Superman movie, right? When Superman gets in the car or whatever, or Batman and they turn into their outfit and they go. I felt like I was that person. So I would put my DirecTV clothes in there. So I would go in the back door, open up the van, close the door. I would change into my DirecTV outfit, hang my suit, hang the tie, hang the shirt. I would put on my work boots. And then I would grow and run. Sometimes I had to go with the Miramar or Mira Mesa, other parts of town, but I would make it by 9 o'clock to plant that first job. And I would go through my jobs really quick. I had to be done by no later than 3. There was many times when realtors would call me or clients would call me that I promise you, I was on top of a roof planning a satellite, and I used to get the cardboard box of the cable.
Yeah.
And I always had a pen, so I would take applications on a piece of cardboard and a pen. By just boom, just by pen and paper, and
trying to remember exactly what needed to be asked.
Right.
And trying to remember
so I would take it all down.
Yeah.
Of course, the client was calling me because they wanted to know if they qualify. So I would ask them questions like, okay, how many credit cards do you have? How many car payments? Have you ever been late in the last 6 months to 12 months? Because that
pretty much some of your credit record
right
off the top of your head.
Off the top of your head. So I used to do that, and I say, okay, well, congratulations, you're good to go. You qualify for $250. Oh my God, you're just yes. I got an approval. I just pulled your credit. I took a full application. You're good to go. Give me till about 5 or 6 o'clock this afternoon. Once I'm done with all my appointments I have going on, I will send you a pre-approval letter. And I will be like, oh my God. I just hope I have good credit. Yeah. Right? I would call the realtor and say, hey, I just talked to your client, so-and-so. They're good to go. Based on what I took, it looks like they're going to be qualified for $250,000, $300,000. Oh my God, you're the best. Thank you so much. One more, give me a pre-approval letter. I says, well, give me a few hours. I'll be back to the office. I'm on the field, but I'll get it out to you later on today. So that was my day sometimes. I would dram back to the office of DirecTV, turn in my boxes, turn in my work orders that were completed, drive down from Miramar Road, and there's traffic always coming down south. Yeah. I used to drive down and go back home to Bonita Road, change, put the same clothes that I had on in the morning, and go back to the office. So I was like, I'm done with my day. So I was out in the field meeting realtors, and I would actually start working on my applications. And I tell you, God was right next to me every single step of the way, because those clients, every single time I told them to qualify, they qualified. I pulled credit.
You knew how to measure your risk.
I knew how to measure
Yeah. Yes. You knew based on the questions you asked that you had a pretty good idea. Yes. I mean, you get to a point in this business that you kind of know.
Absolutely.
Right?
I was measuring my risk, like you said. So I was making sure that I was asking the right questions. And, when I went to the loan officer school, they always told me, hey, listen, anybody can go in the calculator and do some math. Anybody can go in a computer and take a loan app.
Yep.
But if you really want to be really good in this business, Alfonso, my instructor said, you have to learn how to qualify people.
Up here, yep.
Right here. Pen and paper, old school. You never know when the laptop's going to let you down. You're running out of battery. What are you going to do? Oh, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to calculate your income.
Yeah.
You have to know how to do it manually. So I thank him for that, because I put all that to practice, literally.
On the roof of a house.
On the roof of a house. So, but I'll tell you, I used to come back to the office and work my pre-approvals, work my applications, send out the pre-approvals, and I would work sometimes till 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. So I would call my mother and I'd say, hey, are the babies okay? Yeah, they're fine, don't worry. So she lives in Claremont.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go back to Claremont, pick them up,
yep.
Put them to bed, shower them, feed them. So I was going back to bed probably around midnight, right? 1 o'clock. So I was only sleeping 3 to 4 hours a day. That was it. And, it was very, very, very tough.
How long did this last?
Journey lasted for about a year and 2 months, right?
14 months.
14 months. Meanwhile...
That's almost 2 babies.
That's almost 2 babies. Meanwhile, my loan business is not doing that great. Yeah. I mean, it took me about a year to be able to build my clientele base, build my business partners, the realtor that trusted me with their leads, with their buyers to help them get them qualified, right? So for that whole year, I was really not closing a deal. It was all just building the relationships. Yes, I would take the pre-approvals, but if you remember that time, there was short sales.
Yeah.
So even if a client got an offer accepted,
yep.
It was 4 or 5 months before you actually closed it.
Yeah. If it closed. Because all of a sudden it got foreclosed on and nothing happened. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was very, 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 very tough. So kept doing it. After that, I now know they became really good friends of mine. My branch manager at the time, he was about to fire me. Literally, like 2 months prior to me quitting DirecTV, he was about to fire me. But I always would check in with him, tell him, hey, Lou, like I'm working, look at the leads, I'm pulling the credits. They will find out, right? So my friend calls me, he's like, dude, listen, the same guy that's always believed in me, he says, listen, I believe in you and you can do this. Everybody around the office is like talking about you. And a big shout out to my boy, and I call him my brother, Ray Miranda, for always believing in me.
Yeah.
He's he's in loans.
Yeah.
He's always believed in me, and he's a big part of my success because he believed in me even more so when I didn't believe in my own self.
Yeah.
So he said, "Dude, Alfonso, you gotta quit the DirecTV stuff, bro. You're really good at this. Okay, people are starting to talk to you about in the office. Just quit it." I said, "Ray, but if I quit, man, I need to pay my rent. I need to do this." Like, Alfonso, just do it. It's gonna start happening again. You're really good at it. You're building up a good base.
Get out of that comfort zone.
Get out of the comfort zone. What are you scared about, dude? Like, you're always like very outgoing. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're right. I give my notice in DirecTV. In January, I can't remember the year anymore. 2010, nine, and then literally 60 days after that, all those pre-approvals that were taking 5-6 months to get approved because of short sales started coming in. So in March, I closed 2 loans. April, closed 1, and then 2, and then 1, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then it just started going on from there. And I told my wife, I can't believe it. Like, Ray was right. I was being so fearful, but I'm glad he pushed me, and here I am. We're doing good. So then the business started picking up again. I started building the relationships. I kept grinding it. Mind you, when I was working DirecTV even in the weekends, some days I would finish super early. I was still doing open house from 3 to 5.
Yep.
With a couple of realtors. So I was like spreading myself so thin that it's not even funny. But I had the why. I couldn't let my kids down.
Yep.
I couldn't let my wife down. I didn't like her working at Scripps for what she was doing. If she was in the offices taking, a good job, but she was in housekeeping. She was cleaning bathrooms, she was vacuuming, she was brooming. Not that it's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not like trying to disrespect anybody that does that today. But I knew that's not what I wanted for my family.
Correct.
Planning those satellite dishes, I tell you what, there was more than 4 or 5 times that I cried like a baby on the roof.
Yeah.
Because I would walk into these big old houses in Rancho Bernardo, Rancho Santa Fe, and I was like, this is where I belong. This is what I want to do. This is what I dream of for my day, for my family one day.
Yeah.
Jesus, you know me. Like, you
Will
know
you
what
get
I
it?
want. Will I what?
Will you ever get it?
I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I'm on the path.
Yeah,
I'm going to get
I
it.
know.
You know what I'm saying? So, and, it was always keeping my why very clear. I was fearful of letting my family down. I've always been very driven. I've always been very motivated, right? So I quit the DirecTV job, and then in 2010, my business just climbs. I win the Rookie of the Year at the previous company where I used to work at, not because I was new in the business, but because I went from like literally zero business to I think that year I closed like $9 million in loans.
Nice.
Right? Which was like, my average loan size at the time was like $180,000, so it was
That's a lot of loans.
So they wanted me to be a guest, like a speaker in the panel and all that stuff in the company I used to work for. But, what I'm trying to wrap up here is always have a clear vision of your goals and your why.
Yep.
Because it's very easy for us to lose our why, Pancho. It's very, very easy to lose our why.
You forget about it.
You forget about it.
Yeah.
You forget what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you start changing the rankings and start changing the numbers, and I just want to be number one, blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's not about being the number one. I just want to be my very best, and that's it. I want to be able to provide for my kids, for my wife. I know what my end game looks like. I know what that means to me, and that's the reason in my constant drive. And like you said, I was always brought up with good, morals and everything. And my grandma used to say, hey, mijo, never take $1 from anybody. Never steal from anybody. Always lend a hand out. Always be willing to help people. And my mom and my grandma stuck that so embedded in me that's how I just do my things. And like you said, I'm just so committed to everything that I do. When I quit the DirecTV job, they offered me a management position. They
don't want you to live. Yeah, exactly.
Because I used to be the person that on Saturday and Sunday, because I didn't have no appointments in the mortgage business, I used to call in.
Give me more.
Give me more.
Yeah.
I was out there planning commercial jobs at 8, 9, 10, 12, 1 in the morning. Nobody else wanted to do it.
Yep. Unfortunately, nowadays, hard workers are a rare breed.
Exactly.
So when big companies like that see somebody that's putting it in and doing whatever it takes, they don't want you to leave.
Exactly.
That says a lot about you as a person. So good.
I was never late.
Yeah.
I've never missed work because I was out partying the last night, and I think you learned that firsthand.
Yeah.
I was always taught to give it your all.
Yep.
Whatever is it that you do. Listen, I always tell people, if you're gonna work at Burger King or McDonald's or any place as a flipping burgers, do it to the best of your ability and be the best burger flipper in the world. Yep. Just be happy with what you do and give it your all in whatever it is that you do. If you're not happy, change it.
Absolutely.
Make the change on it and go find what is it really that you like to do. If not, you're gonna be unhappy. You're gonna be miserable. The people around you are gonna notice it. You're gonna make them unhappy. You're gonna rub them the wrong way.
Yep. Just
be a happy person at whatever it is that you do.
Yep.
You know. So I always understood where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to give a better living to my family, my wife and my kids. I wanted to give my kids better opportunities that my wife wasn't able. That my mom, you know, as a single parent raising 5 kids, was so tough.
Also commendable and tough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know she wanted to probably do other things or better things for us, but she gave us her best.
Yeah.
So my mom was teaching me a lesson then. Do your best, and that's all that counts.
Yep.
So because of that, I continue to drive, and you know, I've been very fortunate that the last 7 years in a row, I've been nominated and classified a top loan officer in the San Diego County.
Yeah.
Last year, I got ranked as number 1, top 1% in the whole nation. Humbling.
Hell yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the things are happening, and it's just because of my passion. I really want to pay it forward now and do stuff like this. And I hope that today, with me sharing my story, it motivates somebody out there.
Somebody out there is watching. That's the whole purpose of it.
Listen, if me and you today, because of this interview, we can change one person's life, that's it.
It's all worth it, right?
It's all worth it.
Absolutely.
It's all worth it. And don't let anybody tell you you can't do it.
Yep.
You're the only one that can tell yourself you can't do it. Anything and everything is possible as long as, once again, you have it clear.
Yep.
And another thing I learned was, Pancho, is that the weakest ink is strongest than the strongest mind.
Yep.
What that means is the weakest ink is strongest as the strongest mind is because if you write it down and you make a plan behind it, it will become a reality.
Yes.
If you say, hey, I know what I'm going to do in life, it's all right here. Guess
No.
what? I don't care. You're not Superman.
Put it down.
Put it down.
Review it.
Review it.
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5 times throughout the year. Am I on track? Am I not on track?
Yeah.
Right? The reason we don't write it down is the fear of
Afraid of failing.
Not getting it done.
Yeah.
So every year I do a business plan. I do a life plan now. Now what we do with the dream board is now with my kids, we do the 1 year, right? Which is the incoming year.
Would you say it's important to dream?
Very important. Very important. I think
Dream big?
It's one of the most important lessons in life that I've learned this past year was dream big sooner.
Yes.
So if I can tell anybody today from this conversation is we all need to learn how to dream bigger
Sooner.
The
faster you dream, the better.
The faster you start
Absolutely.
dreaming big. And I'm talking about like, I want to be the president of the United States. So
Whatever
be
it is, yeah, absolutely.
Be the president
Yeah.
of the United States. I want to, whatever it is.
Private jet.
Private jet, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that drives you,
Yep.
do it. You're not bragging when you share with people. It's just the motivation for you to chase that carrot,
Absolutely.
like we say in our industry, right?
Yeah.
I'm constantly chasing the carrot. I love the grind. I love the fact that I'm able to impact people's lives, but getting them qualified if they don't qualify at the moment, by telling them what they need to do in 3, 4, 5, 6 months in order to qualify.
And get them home.
Get them home.
Which is an important part
Exactly.
of yeah.
So,
The family
dreaming big
structure.
is huge. Another thing that I've learned recently is I really want to be obsessed, Pancho. Be obsessed with whatever it is that I want to do, right? So right now, my assistants think I'm crazy. I put it up there.
Yeah.
I will be obsessed. I want it to be there because it's right in front of where I sit. I want to read it every single day. A reminder, I want to be obsessed. Right now, it's like I'm driving them nuts, but if it's not in my calendar, it ain't happening.
Yep.
Because sometimes we feel like we did a whole lot of nothing. And we're like so beat up, right?
You worked all day.
Oh my God, I worked all
12
day.
hours.
Really?
And nothing happened.
What did you do?
Yeah.
What productive things did you do today? And
Happens
you're
all
like,
the time.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
So I'm obsessed with my calendar, being more structured. I want to be able to be home at least 3, 4 nights a week for dinner to put my kids to bed. So, thank you for this opportunity. I think that's my quick recap of my story.
I think so.
So, planting satellites. I don't want people to mention and lose credibility. Now I'm able to share it. you know, and that's one of the things that, you know, made
Well, like you said, it made you. It was a key element.
it was a key element. I had to go through that failure in my life.
Yeah.
I had to go plant satellite dishes TV. I had to go through people humiliate me because there was a lot of humiliation happened when I was doing it. People, you know,
They look down on you,
Rancho Bernardo. There were some people out there like they didn't want. They thought you were there to rob them.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just there with a DirecTV uniform trying to say I'm here to be planning your satellite. They follow you through the house, thinking like you're gonna steal something.
They don't trust you. Yeah.
They don't trust you. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But those things were like, oh my God, like this is not my
Don't
place.
feel good.
They don't feel good. And
You know,
that was
there's
the
that
deal.
saying. Yeah, there's that saying. In order to jump high, you must first bend your knees, man.
You first bend your knees.
Sometimes you just got to go low to be able to get higher, and it's just a part of life.
Yep.
You know?
One time, I'll tell you a quick story. Planning a DirecTV satellite, I still have the markup in my skull here. So I was like, it was hot, like 100 degrees in Spring Valley, and you know it gets hot in Spring Valley.
Yep.
And I'm drilling, right, and the stucco outside to put the cable through there. The windows has bars, right, and the bottom of the window bars don't have like a flat iron trying to cover the spikes. This one had the spikes going down.
Damn.
So I'm drilling, and it's super, super hot, and I jam it through because I'm pissed off.
Yeah, you're in a
just
bad mood.
complaining.
Just the
This
wrong
is not
mindset.
for me.
Yeah.
Wrong mindset.
Yep.
Why am I doing this? Just nagging and complaining. All of a sudden, I go through the wall, and I hit my finger, just like I have hit this one the other day. But it turns out purple, and I'm yelling, blah, blah. When I go up, my head hits those bars, the spike, and it starts bleeding, dude, bad. And I still have a little hole right here from it. So whenever I'm showering every day, I kind of feel the hole, and it's a reminder, like, dude, stop nagging about life.
Yeah.
Life is good. Life is whatever we want to make it of.
Yeah, because you get in the bad state of mind, and you're nagging.
It ruins your
everything
whole
goes bad.
Day.
Yeah.
It ruins your whole mindset. And my team like laughs at me, but it's true. Like when I think of life or anything I'm doing, it's in the shower.
Yeah.
So when I'm putting some soap in that head and I feel that little thing, I'm like, dude, smile.
Yeah.
Life is good. Life is whatever is it that you want to make of it, right?
Smile is powerful stuff, guys.
Smile is powerful.
Yeah.
I coached my team a lot. I share my story with them. I share it here with you again today. And it just reminds me of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And, you know, I'm just very blessed. I'm very blessed that to be here, to have business partners and friends more than anything like you in my life, because I am who I am because of the people I surround myself with.
Absolutely.
Like you. You know what I mean? So I'm a firm believer of that. I'm constantly seeking mentors in life. I'm constantly seeking successful people because I want to ask them how they did it, why they did it, share with me, you know, and see if I can even do better.
Could you have done everything alone?
No.
Absolutely not. Right?
No.
Yeah.
If I didn't have
You need people.
mentors in my life, coaches, business coaches, friends like yourself, my team that believes in me, none of this could have been possible.
Absolutely.
You know, being ranked top 1% in the whole country, that's the top 250 originators in the country. And there's thousands of licensed originators.
Yeah.
And this is the top 250 people in the whole country. I was blessed by NAREB. I was ranked number 37 with all the depository banks. If you take all the big banks, which is like the banks that you can check your savings account, I'm like actually like number 17 in the whole country.
Wow.
You know, it just humbles me down, you know, and understands it makes me understand like why I'm doing this for, you know, and I just want to continue to build a good mortgage business, good branch, motivate my people, and like I tell my team, like one promise I made them, first big promise, at the end of last year, I said, listen, I promise you guys something. If you guys help me achieve my goals and dreams, which you guys already are, by working so hard and dedicated to me and to the business, I will help you achieve your dreams and goals.
Yep.
Not only that, you guys will retire me, and I will retire you.
Yep.
You know, it was a big commitment. My wife thought I was crazy. Why did you say that? Oh my God! I was like, because I'm a man of my word, and I know what I say. I could be. Can I control? I told my wife, can I control that? She was like, what do you mean? I was like, can I control that? Does it
something within me? Yeah.
She said, yes. I said, then why can't I do it?
Yeah. Why
if
can't
they
I
retire me, I'm going to retire them.
Yep.
And, you know, it's just, you know, I'm just beyond blessed. Beyond blessed, like I said, to have so many good people around me and to be able to rebound from the mortgage meltdown and build this amazing, great business. And have some great leadership here in my company, Point Mortgage, you know, Peter Mendiola, Scott Asaro, Johnny Margarini.
Yep.
You know, we got our, you know, ops people. We just have a great team here. They believe in me. They believe in my wildest dreams. I meet with them probably two or three times in the year just to check in with them. Like, hey, I'm keeping with my promises.
Yep.
You guys are keeping with your promises. We're keeping on building and growing.
Building and growing.
So
Yep.
I just surround with people that believe in me and my crazy dreams.
Awesome, man.
That's all it is.
So I think we're gonna wrap it up. I don't know how many. I don't know if we've gone over or not, but whatever. This is YouTube. It's gonna go on YouTube, so we have unlimited time.
Right. So exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we just would like to hear the feedback. I would like to get the feedback.
Yeah.
From the people.
If you guys please comment, share us, send us messages. What do you think? Like I said, this is episode number 1, so maybe it's not as structured as anything else, but I think overall the conversation was pretty cool.
I think so.
And then we'll have you again another time to go over some other things, because this is a huge story. I mean, it is, in order to be able to go on a journey like this, there's a lot of elements that go through it, and a lot of heartache, and a lot of pain and blood, and I mean literally,
a lot of things.
A lot of things happen to be able to get.
Like people say, you know, there's peaks and valleys and everything, right? So sometimes we're at our peak, sometimes we're down in our valley, right? Just get up. And like I said,
Everything passes.
Thank you for you coming up with the idea of this poncho show.
Yeah.
You know, you're paying it forward with doing this.
That's my goal. That's my goal.
I love to pay it forward. And if you and I today, with this conversation, this interview, we can just change one person out there. Somebody that's watching this, one life, you know, it'll be paid for.
It'll be worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely, brother.
And stay tuned for the
Thank you for joining me. I know it was hard getting coordinated with the schedules because we're both all over the place and super busy and everything. Yeah. But yeah, I'm very grateful that you came on board. And that you're able to do this with me, because I think it is important, it is valuable to be able to share these things, and we'll keep growing it better. Please follow us on Instagram, The Poncho Show 1 at the end, because The Poncho Show was already taken. It's a dog.
Oh, wow.
So Instagram.com/The Poncho Show 1. And that way we're going to post daily messages there and stories, which I think you guys are going to really enjoy. So we'll be in touch. And thank you again, Alfonso.
Thank you, man.
It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you and your time. And then follow us. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you think, what we can improve on, what we can change. If you want us to talk about a certain subject, let us know. We're going to be talking about everything in this. The Poncho Show is going to be going on everything. Finances, business, health, relationships. We're not going to talk about everything. This isn't just about business. Awesome. This is just about everything. Yeah. All right, it's going to be pretty cool. So follow us. Let us know what you think, and hopefully we kept you entertained for a little bit. All righty?
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.